Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay. I'm not normally in front of an audience with a microphone, so I'm used to talking loud. So bear with me if I kind of step away and just talk. So hopefully you can still hear me. But my name is Lesley Hatfield. I am the Director of Operations for the eCampus Virtual Bookstore program. And with me today is Katie Waller, your Southern Wesleyan University account manager. I work very closely with Katie for the past 3 years from the initial launch of our program with Southern Wesleyan and throughout the day-to-day operations. Her and her account management team are in the office working with you on a daily basis, ensuring that all of the information that we are getting from your faculty and working to make sure your students' orders are fulfilled and working to truly be your bookstore partner. And so her and her team work very hard, and we're very, very happy to have the opportunity to actually be here at this conference this year and to sponsor it as well. We truly value our partnership and hope that this is something we can continue in the future. So I kind of want this today to be an open session. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to interrupt or share your history with eCampus with us. I wanted to just do a brief overview for this new faculty who may not be familiar with exactly what eCampus is and what our program does, and some of the great advantages that your students have because you are partnered with us, and so we're able to offer them this program. Does this work? Maybe. Oh, great. Let me go back here. Perfect. Great. So just a brief overview. I want to talk a little bit about what eCampus.com is and then all of the benefits that we have to offer you and your students by being your partner. eCampus.com was founded in 1999 by Wallace Wilkinson, who was a former governor of Kentucky, and Dave, the Wendy's guy, Dave Thomas. Thank you. I've probably said that name a million times in the last 10 years, but Dave Thomas, yes. And our current owner, president, CEO actually worked under them as their operations manager, and then there were some financial difficulties, and the current owner and his executive team took over in 1999 was our official launch date for the new reinstated eCampus.com. And so we've been under the same ownership since 1999. But we started the virtual bookstore program in 2002. We had a college right up the road from us, Midway University. Some of you all may be familiar with Midway. We're located in Lexington, Kentucky. I guess I probably should have said that originally, but and then right up the road from us is Midway University. And their president came to us and said, I want you to be my bookstore. And so we were an online open purchase model, and we'd never done a bookstore and really did not know what we were doing, but we decided, okay, we could do this. And so we got some resources together and created a custom website exclusively for their students, and we continue to do that now 20 or 18 years later. So we service over 500,000 students today. We're partnered with colleges and universities all across the United States. We have colleges all the way from California to Hawaii, or California to Florida. We don't have Hawaii yet, but that's on my list. California to Florida to Maine and Texas and everywhere in between. Our colleges range in size from 500 students to 32,000 students. So we've created a program that's able to work for, because our model is so customizable, we've created a program that's able to work for all colleges and universities. This is inside of our distribution center. It's located also in Lexington, Kentucky, right down the street from our corporate offices. Every order that ships to your students here goes through our distribution center. It's hand-picked, hand-scanned for accuracy, and that's why we're able to provide a 99.5% order accuracy rate. So our number one goal at eCampus.com is to focus on textbook affordability. So the standard bookstore model offers a publisher list price. So books are sold at the publisher's list price, which is based off of the publisher's pricing. And used inventory is around 75% of that list, and the rentals will be around 60%, and so on and so on. Ebooks are about 50%. So it's a standard price for everyone. Every student pays the same price. But we are able to offer your students a competitive internet pricing model, and that's what we offer at Southern Wesleyan. And so it's a kind of a supply and demand. So if there's a lot of used inventory, if there's a lot of excess inventory on the market, then we're able to purchase that at drastically reduced prices and pass that savings on to your students. So when we are sending emails asking for adoptions as soon as possible, it's so that we can start sourcing that used inventory as quickly as possible. There's other reasons too. We want to keep you compliant with the Higher Education Opportunity Act, but the main reason is it plays a huge role on textbook affordability. The more used books that we have in our inventory, the more used books that we have in our rental fleet, that's a direct reflection of the prices to your students. Because if we're having to go out in August to purchase the book, more than likely we're having to either purchase it directly from the publisher or pay very competitive higher prices because the demand is out there. But if we're purchasing your students' books in May when all these other retailers are trying to get rid of their inventory, then we're able to pass that savings on to your students. So this is a couple of examples of some of our pricing models because the publisher list price would be $232, and if you were in a standard brick and mortar bookstore, you would walk in and that's what they would pay. That's what students would pay for this book. But because we have the internet dynamic pricing, at this time this book is $23. There are students able to rent it for $23. So it's a huge significant savings. And I think that we've shared that and those numbers over the years at just the huge cost savings that we're able to offer and your students are able to take advantage of through our partnership. And here's another example as well. The standard bookstore list price is $323. So your students we've created a customized website exclusively for your students. They are able to go to swu.ecampus.com and order direct. But we're also are offering a new shop by schedule model that we're really excited about. We've heard great feedback from. We've worked really hard to get it. So it's a fantastic offering. So if your students were to go to order textbooks on their virtual bookstore website, which again the URL is swu.ecampus.com, they could select order their books and they would have to kind of hunt and peck and find the courses for which they are enrolled in. But because we now have integrated with the SIS system, we're able to allow your students to shop by schedule. So they click the shop by schedule and they log into their My SWU. I think it's My SWU. They can log into that and click on their courses and click on their schedule. And based on their schedule, their books will populate based on the courses that they're enrolled in. So your students don't have to worry about ordering for section A when they're really enrolled in section B of a course, or they don't have to worry about what's my professor's name and try to find the correct course and mistakenly click on the incorrect course. We're showing them exactly the textbooks that are required for them as soon as they click their schedule through their MySWU. So that's another reason why it's so important to have the textbooks in there, or in our system as quickly as possible, because that's something that they can take advantage of at the time of registration. So once they register for the course, they're able to automatically see the textbooks that are required for the course, which is compliant with the Higher Education Opportunity Act, which states that students need to be able to see textbook pricing at the time of registration. So they're able to see the entire cost associated with taking that course. I don't think that necessarily that's deterred too many students from taking the course, especially with our internet pricing, but it is, that's the overall goal, is for them to see that course. So unfortunately, I don't have a sample student because it's really exciting to show an example, but when they do log into their account, it will automatically populate based on their courses. For example, if the student was taking Chem 205, they would click on their schedule and be able to see the exact book that's required and all of the purchasing options that are available. This is where your notes appear if you enter those in FAST, which we'll talk about in a moment as well, and any other purchasing options that would be available for them. We also accept financial aid book vouchers, so your students are able to utilize, just like in the physical bookstore when it was here, your students can purchase using their financial aid book vouchers. So that's another reason why it's so important to have the book information in there so that they're able to utilize those financial funds for book purchases. And if we do receive those funds, we work very closely with Brittany to get the accounts updated, and it will automatically appear at the checkout. So this student has $200 of financial aid available to utilize, or they also have the option to purchase with credit that we can talk about in a moment. We also, just like a physical bookstore, will conduct an on-site buyback at the end of every semester. So Katie and her team have been here. I've been here. I came a couple of times for the buyback, but I haven't been back in a couple of years. But Katie and her team are here at the end of every semester so that your students are in the international hallway, and your students can return their rentals to us at that time, as well as sell their books for cash. We also offer a year-round online buyback on the virtual bookstore there, so they can go to sell textbooks and enter the 13 or 10 digit ISBN, and we'll give them a quote and they can send it in and we'll pay for the shipping. So that's available 24/7, 365 days a year, free shipping label. And again, they can have a check mailed to them. They can do a direct deposit into their checking or savings account, or they can opt to have in-store buyback credit. They get a little bump in the price if they do that, and they can use it towards next year's purchase or next semester's purchase. And then this is your tool. This is the tool that our team created exclusively for faculty and staff at our colleges and universities. It is FAST. It is our faculty administrative support tool. Some of you may be very familiar with it, and some of you may have only used it this first time or haven't had the opportunity to use it. But I think it's a wonderful tool. Everyone here, we're passed information and you're assigned to the course. You log in, and when you do log in, you'll see only the courses for which you're assigned. So this is where you enter your textbook information for the upcoming semesters. And guess what? Spring 20 is already in here. So you could technically already add your Spring 20 books. I mean, we're almost 6 months from there, and you can add your books. So that's really exciting. So you can enter them in the system, get that over with, and not think about them again until April, May. So when you log into the system, you only see the books that are the courses for which you are assigned, and you can just click on the course, and you'll enter the course detail section. You can add the 10 or the 13-digit ISBN, or you also have the option to click the adoption history button and view books that were used in previous semesters, either by yourself or by previous instructors for that course, which is a great tool. You'd be able to click on the adopt this item, and it will automatically add it to the course. If you're teaching 10 sections of that, you can select the copy all, and you can copy that book into 10 sections. So don't feel like you have to go into all 10 sections of English 101 and enter your book information. So that's a great feature as well. You also have the ability to add comments here, add course comments, and then once you add a book, I'll skip over that for just a second. once you add a book, you also have the option to add book comments. So if you want your students to read the first 5 chapters of a book prior to attending class on the first day, you can add that comment right there in the book section, and they'll see it when they log into their portal and view their textbooks for the upcoming semester. There's no excuses for them not to have read all 5 chapters before they get to class, right? And then this is a required new item. You can see all purchasing options have been hidden, new, used, rental, marketplace, and ebook. If you want to allow those options, it automatically defaults to all of those options being available for your students. But if you have a continuation course in which you would not want your students to rent for, you can always hide the rental, or if for some reason you would not allow an ebook, you can do so. You can hide that as well there. So if you aren't sure what textbooks you'd like to use for the upcoming semester, you can use the adoption history to see what has used or what other professors are using in your courses. Or you can also search our catalog, and you can look at popular books in your field. So you can search for psychology or biology is usually my favorite one to search for. And it will bring up popular options, and you can even click on the details and see a brief summary and request a desk copy, a complimentary desk copy from the publisher. And so if you want the opportunity to review that prior to confirming that adoption. So that's a great feature as well. You can also save it to your profile so you don't have to search it again. Once the desk copy comes in, you want to adopt it, save it to your profile. You can adopt it to the course directly from this search feature as well. So if you haven't explored that tool, it's very, very handy as well, and a great offering. So there's a lot of benefits to faculty with our partnership. One of those is we do provide adoption list cleaning. So we will, as I'm sure many of you know, reach out to the publishers and check on current pricing and availability. That is not to say you can't use this book, it's out of print and no longer available. Our overall goal is to be your true textbook expert. So we want to keep you as up to date and as informed on your textbook adoptions as possible. So if a new edition is available or a new edition is coming out soon, we want to be the first to tell you. We are your bookstore. This is a service that all physical bookstores provide, and we will always continue to provide. We don't want you to be using the 4th edition and the publisher rep say, why did your bookstore not tell you we're now on the 10th edition? So if new editions are available, we want to be the first to inform you. Never are we saying you have to move to the new edition. Yeah.
Are new editions automatically adopted by eCampus despite what the instructor requests?
Nope, they are not. We will never change your adoption without consent from you, ever. Now, if it is a book that's, and there are, my mom's been a college professor for 35 years, so I can say this. I think she's probably still using the same book. There are books that there's absolutely no availability on the market for, and so, you know, we do have to add the disclaimer, we can maybe purchase 2 copies and that's it. And so we can list a marketplace option for your students to purchase for, but if you want to use that edition, we will keep it in there. Absolutely. We will never change a book without your knowledge and without your agreeing to that. So if a new edition is available, we will send you an email telling you, you've probably gotten them, that a new edition is available. It's not mandatory to switch. We actually like older editions, a couple of years old, because there's more used inventory. And remember what I was speaking of earlier about the more used inventory, the more cost savings we can pass along to your students. If we have to go direct to the publisher all the time, there's very little wiggle room in pricing. They set those prices. So having an older edition, a couple of years old, as long as it's not a workbook or an access code, you can't sell used access codes, then there's typically a lot of used inventory on the market, and we can pass that savings on to your students. But as part of the service, we always will communicate with you when a new edition is available and when a new edition is coming out, so that you are aware. Also, anytime a custom book is print on demand and may take a few days to get from the publisher, which is usually not a problem, we'll order early to ensure adequate stock. We also communicate that to you just so we are keeping you in the loop with the knowledge of your textbook, just like a true bookstore would.
So if you're saying that you're good with using the older edition,
Yeah.
but you're requiring newest edition, however, the older edition, how are we listing that? Because that's the same text twice.
Yes,
Do you see
yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
yes.
when I
Mhm.
looked into your site, I was like, no, it's typically when I'm requiring it, then I told her it's not.
That's a
There's
great
lot of
question.
way to get text to the first session,
Mm-hmm.
which is what usually the information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I tell them it's up to you if you want to take a, you know, use a later edition or something like that. You
Yeah.
know, an earlier edition, that they can do that, but it's good to see where that would make sense on there. The other is supplemental
Yes,
kind of thing.
I agree.
I don't want it to be a supplemental.
I agree. And, you know, this is a challenge that we definitely have faced at several colleges and universities because, I mean, they'll say, I'll move to the new edition, but
Yeah.
students that took the class last year still have the 5th edition. I'll accept both. I'm not going to make those students have to purchase another textbook. And so it's a uniqueness that we need to be able to duplicate that information into our system in a way that we're not confusing the students. So at this time, our resolution to that is listing both editions. And if you see the required feature there, there's also a choice. It's a drop down. I'm not in the live website, but there's a drop down here. And so you can change this required to choice and list the 2 editions. And then I would have added a book comment, which is not in this screen, but the book comment section, I would say students may choose from either edition or any previous edition is acceptable.
Yeah, because I just did.
Yeah.
It as a required one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
They really are required.
Yeah, a book is, it's almost like you want to say, a book is required, which edition, you know, and that's why we provide that comment section so that can be communicated to the students. And the comment section does allow you to change the color and the font to make it big and bold, and so it brings it to their attention. But that's always an option, and if you want to communicate with the bookstore team, we'd be more than happy to do that for you as well, anytime, absolutely.
I just want to make sure it's clear that like that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And and we try to make the comments very clear and communicate to the students, you only need to purchase 1 book. Either edition is acceptable, your choice on which edition that you choose. But students will still sometimes just go down the list and purchase their books and then they get them, which is another great advantage for shopping through the virtual bookstore. We have returns with no restocking 30 days from the start of class. So your student can return that book to us 30 days from the start of class. So if they ordered those 2 books in May when the website went live and that class didn't start until October 1st, they have until October 30th to return that book to us, even though it was ordered in May. No questions asked. No restocking fee, and so that if they do mistakenly purchase that incorrectly, which does happen because, I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but sometimes college students don't read.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it sounds great.
Yes.
See it and we're listening to it. But
Yeah.
they go in and they're just trying to get everything done.
Absolutely.
They're
Yeah.
trying to get it to the list.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand. And especially, at the beginning of the semester, there's so much stress and so many other things going on. They're trying to order their books as quickly as possible because they were supposed to read the first 5 chapters before classes started. Another great advantage of having eCampus as your virtual bookstore partner is that we are able to offer non-textbook related products. Anytime that you use art kits or nursing kits or anything like that, calculators, we're able to list those on the virtual bookstore as well. Some people think we can just provide books, but we're a true bookstore and we're able to provide, any and all course materials and supplies. And your students would be able to use, their book vouchers or financial aid funds to purchase those required course materials. And then we also are partnered exclusively with Xanadu to provide custom course packs. And so we work with Xanadu and we are able to, they'll do the copyright clearance for us, and we have full returns with Xanadu, which is very rare for a copy course pack and the copy service. So that also is able to be passed along to your students, because all too often if you're doing custom printed lab manuals or if you're doing a custom textbook, once those are sold, those are unreturnable to many vendors like Xerox or the local copy shop, but we will offer full returns on those as well. And we'll work with you directly to create those course packs if you all are ever of interest in those. That is part of our service. And then we will also request faculty desk copies from the publisher. We do everything that we can to get you these desk copies. We will provide the publishers with our PO history and our order history in an effort to get these to you as quickly as possible. We cannot guarantee, and because of the used book market and rental book market, publishers are getting more and more stingy with their physical desk copies, and they're tending to move to electronic. They're losing money because of, the rental market especially has definitely hurt the textbook or the publishing industry. So we'll do everything we can to get you that complimentary desk copies, but we do have to always add the disclaimer, we cannot guarantee it, but we will go above and beyond to get that for you. There's a button in your FAST in which you can just click on it, and a pop-up will come, and a message will go to your team to request that desk copy complimentary. We also have a dedicated, as I mentioned earlier, in-house account management team. Myself, as well as our Vice President of Operations, work directly with Katie Waller and her assistants. And we meet weekly reviewing all of the progress and where we're at in the books list and the adoptions and stocking, and making sure that we're all on track, and looking forward to the upcoming semester and making sure there will be no bumps in the road. So we start working in January for August. And then we also, for your students, have an in-house dedicated customer service department. They can reach us via chat. We have a toll-free number, or they can reach us via email as well. So we offer typical hours for our customer service is Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and we do offer extended hours, including weekend coverage during peak seasons, January and August. And so again, just to overview some of the advantages of the eCampus Virtual Bookstore program, we do also provide textbook scholarships as well as sponsorships, and for events like this. Your students are able to take advantage of free shipping promotions. There's free USPS over $59, and then free UPS shipping over $149. And then we create custom marketing materials exclusively for your students. The faculty support, we're here for you. We want to help you in any way that we can. And then we partner with the actual apparel store. My mind's going blank at the moment. With Caitlin in the apparel store, and we have a dropship partnership. So your students and your parents and your alumni are able to purchase apparel and merchandise from our website that is also available for purchase in the store. And we send the orders daily to Caitlin, and she fills those orders. So your alumni and parents are able to take advantage of the in-store spirit items, and we serve as your website host for that partnership. And then we are, our overall goal is to keep you in compliance with the HEOA, so that when your students register, they're able to see the entire cost associated with taking that course. And just some basic reasons why it is a great advantage to your students for you all to be partnered with eCampus.com. Our internet dynamic pricing, the faculty fast adoption tool, which is created for you. We have 5 purchasing options: new, used, rentals, ebooks, and marketplace. That marketplace is like a peer-to-peer shopping. So a student at UC Berkeley could be selling their book to your student here, and they set the pricing for that. So, and then the free shippings, we are integrated with your SIS. We also have the ability to integrate with LMSs. So I kind of chatted with before the meeting on that, and then dedicated in-house customer service team. So another hot topic in the textbook industry that I feel like I need to mention, because you may have heard and there may be of interest, and I want to make sure that everyone is aware that this is something we're very interested in, something that we can partner with you in, is an inclusive access. Because I mentioned earlier that the rental industry is really hurting the publishing industry. Publishers had to come up with some way to make money, because the rentals are just getting turned and turned and turned, and new adoptions aren't coming, and less bookstores as well as ourselves are going direct to the publisher for purchasing. So they've created an inclusive access program. It's kind of a first day access. Every publisher out there has their own model of this, but it is it's a course fee model that would apply to every student enrolled in the course. Has immediate access, first day access to the course materials through their LMS. It's digital, and it would be available in Canvas the day the student registered for it, and the publisher offers a huge discount should you partner with them and for these programs. Basically, my math lab is typically, I think, around $120, and they'll offer it for $50 if you partner in an inclusive access program, $50 per student. So it's a huge savings, but they're guaranteed that 100% sell-through, so they are willing to negotiate those prices. So we have partnered with we have partnered with VitalSource to provide inclusive access. So if this is something of ever of interest, we can definitely reach out to the Bookstore team or myself, and we can definitely get a conversation going. Students love it. They also have the option through the ebook to purchase a physical book or a loose leaf version of the textbook, should you have those learners that prefer a physical copy, for a drastically reduced price. We provide all the census data to the publishers and all of the transactional data to the publishers, and the plug is done through VitalSource and Canvas. So it's something that we're very excited to partner with and very supportive of. So if you ever hear anything about it, or if you ever have any interest, let us know. By law, you have to have an opt-out option so that students can opt out and purchase physical books. So we collect that, and this is just showing the opt-out option. They would just click the opt-out and they could enter their credentials, or if we have single sign-on, which we do, it would automatically populate their credentials and saying that they're opting out of that model. Because it is a course fee model, you do have to have an opt-out feature. So that's the biggest hype in the publishing industry. We can send out an additional informational brochure, but please know that we're able to do that and more than happy to partner with you. Also, another great feature is Cengage Unlimited. Have you all heard that talk as well? So it's like a Netflix for textbooks, which works great for your students if all of their courses use Cengage titles. But if they are if they're enrolled in one course that has a Cengage title, then it may not be the best savings. If they could have purchased that biology book for $24, but instead they're going to pay $119 for the Cengage access, it may not be the best purchasing option. So we just, you know, if you are interested in exploring Cengage Unlimited as well, it is something that we do highly promote with our partner schools, but we want to make sure we're communicating to students to make sure we're giving them all of their options. If you have more than one Cengage course, and we can link the courses, if you have more than one Cengage course, it's a great feature. But if you're taking one Cengage course and all of the rest of your courses are using Pearson titles, then it may not be the best option for that student. And Cengage recognizes that as well, and so they're making some adjustments to Cengage Unlimited to make that more transparent. So it's a great feature, though. If I could attend college and purchase my entire semester worth of textbooks for $119, I would be very happy. But we just always like to mention these new and upcoming events or hot items, and there's definitely, we attend a conference every year, CAMX, it's like a national conference for campus bookstores, and that was definitely the buzz this year, so we're definitely putting that out there and letting you know that this is something we can partner with you as well.